So, the R stands for releases or relationships. Basically, how you're going to get into the papers and how you're going to get a relationship with the press people that you know. So, how are you going to get loads of lovely coverage? Everyone has a story, and I truly believe everyone has a story which can become a press release. The question has to be, does your story have EST? What does EST stand for, you might ask? Well, actually it's nothing. It's just est. Is it the biggest, the largest, the hairiest, the smallest? Does it have human interest? How are you going to create human interest, or how are you going to create student interest in your story or what you do? Which bits of the press are you going to try to get into? Which magazines do students read? Use the internet to find out facts about the press. Maybe even use Facebook to find out about reporters. I'm not saying you're allowed to stalk reporters, because of course you can't, but what you could do is start a relationship with them, telling them about your idea. Another thing you can do is make sure your idea is rich for PR or public relations. So, can you do a photo call? Can you do a publicity stunt? What can you do to make sure you're in the press? And remember, the press is TV, radio, newspapers, online. It's everything. So, press releases. How do you write a good press release? Well, we don't have time to go into the whole details now, but what we can tell you is that it must have emotion. What do human beings like? How can we create human interest? Well, human beings like to love, to laugh, to lose, to feel warm inside, to be informed, to learn something new, to be cherished. There are millions of different emotions out there. What we want you to do is to use all these emotions you can unashamedly to get into the papers. So, what's the angle for your idea? What's the angle to get into the press and to get online, into the radio, to get your coverage as big as possible? Remember your brief. Your brief is to help encourage entrepreneurship in your local university and even beyond that. So, how did other people get into the papers? What can you learn from the tricks of others? This is how some other students managed to get into the papers with their ideas.
I'm Scott Woodhead. I came in Space about a year ago and started my own business, which was Fit&C Recruitment, and we recruit for a lot of the fitness and outdoors markets. This is our website here, and that's been going now for about a year. And what we decided to do after that was, because of the database of individuals we have, it was a natural progression to use those customer database and actually sell them something different. So we moved into our product arm, which is lovingoutdoors.com, and Loving Outdoors retails fitness, cycling, walking and outdoor products. We have some fairly big brands on there as well, so the likes of Garmin, Timex and Coleman being some of the big major ones. And that's what we did, and that's how we started.
So with your online PR, which website did you look to go for?
Well, initially our target was to go with a broadsheet, so we targeted a lot of the major newspapers. So we went to The Guardian, the MEN, and we've had a fair bit of success with that. So we got two front page coverages in the Manchester Evening News. I was on the Channel M. We've also had a lot of interest and actual talking on BBC radio shows as well.
What do you want to happen next with your own PR online?
Well, our target and strategy now is to have more focused PR, so it's actually to find out what newspapers, what magazines our customers are reading, and to actually put a very interesting story into one of those for them.
And what final bit of advice would you give to any budding PR people out there?
I'd say the main thing is to have a compelling story, which, you know, it sounds wrong to say, but isn't about self-interest. So you're not over-promoting what you're doing too much, because these newspaper and magazines, they get so many press releases every day with people talking about this fantastic product we're doing now. What I'm suggesting is having a really compelling story and something which you've got in the mindset of what the readers are actually interested in, and putting that forward to them.